Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Beauty of Language. I hope all of you are doing great. So, this is part 2 of the poem A Doctor's Journal Entry for August 6, 1945. So, if you haven't watched the first part yet, do watch it. Now, let's get started. But before I start, let me give you a quick recap about what we discussed in the previous part. So, as you know, that the poem is written like a diary entry from a doctor on August 6, 1945. It was the day of when atom bomb was dropped in Hiroshima. So the poem starts peacefully. The doctor is waking up and enjoying the calm morning, but suddenly two bright flashes of light change everything. So before he could understand what was happening, his house collapsed. Everything around him was destroyed and his clothes were burned off. He got injured with glass stuck in his thigh and bleeding from the right side of his body. Absolutely shocked and confused, he started looking for his wife Yeko-sa. So he was also scared that he might die from blood loss since he was a doctor. So he knew well that bleeding from the neck can be dangerous. So finally, his wife came up. She was also hurt and frightened, just like the doctor was. So even though he was injured, but still he comforted her and said that they needed to leave quickly. So while heading to the hospital, they saw a horrifying scene, including a man's crushed head under a gate and buildings collapsing and catching fire, the flames spreading quickly by the wind. So doctor was worried, but the hospital staff also. But then he felt helpless as he himself was badly injured. So that was all we discussed in the previous part. Now let's get started with the next slide. My legs gave way. I sat down on the ground. Thirst seized me, but no water could be found. My breath was short, but bit by bit my strength seemed to revive, and I got up at length. So in these lines, the doctor is saying that his legs felt shaky, so he sat down on the ground. My legs gave way means he couldn't walk anymore now. He sat down on the ground. Thirst seized me. Thirst seized me means he was very thirsty, but he could not find any water around. My breath was short. Breath was short means he was breathing heavily, but then slowly, but bit by bit, my strength seemed to revive. But slowly, he felt that his strength was reviving again, and I got up at length. Got up at length means he managed to stand up on his legs again. Next, I was still naked, but I felt no shame. This thought disturbed me somewhat till I came upon a soldier standing silently who gave the towel around his neck to me. So in these lines, the poet is telling, I was still naked. So the whole time while all of this was taking place, the narrator was still without clothes. Why? Because all his clothes were burnt. But he wasn't even embarrassed, even though the situation bothered him. But then he kept walking until he came across a soldier that was standing by the side. So that was a kind gesture from him. He gave a towel around his neck to the doctor so that he can wrap it around him. My legs, stiff with dried blood, rebelled, I said. To Yeko-san, she must go on ahead. She did not wish to, but in our distress, what choice had we? A dreadful loneliness came over me when she had gone. My mind ran at high speed. My body crept behind. So in these lines, the poet is telling that the narrator's legs were completely stiff from the blood that had dried. Okay, and he couldn't move them. So he told Yeko-san to go ahead to the hospital all by herself because he couldn't continue any further. And even though she did not want to go, but then there was no other choice, obviously. So after his wife left, what choice had we? Okay, they had no other choice. So a dreadful loneliness came over me when she had gone. My mind ran at high speed, my body crept behind. So when this doctor's wife, when she went ahead, after that, this doctor felt he felt really lonely, a dreadful loneliness he felt. Okay, his mind was racing, but his body just couldn't keep up. Okay, crept means to move very slowly. Now moving ahead, I saw the shadowy forms of people, some were ghosts, some scarecrows, all were wordless dumb. Arms stretched straight out, shoulder to dangling hand. It took some time for me to understand the friction on their burns caused so much pain. They feared to share flesh against flesh again. Okay, so in this now, since the doctor is left behind, now he's looking around the things that is happening around him. Okay, so he says that I saw the shadowy forms of people. Some were ghosts, some were scarecrows. So here, this doctor is comparing people to ghosts and scarecrows. Scarecrows, you know, people. This in the fields which is kept. Okay, the dummy human forms. Okay, so all were wordless dumb. Wordless dumb means all the people who were walking around him all were completely silent. Okay, almost like they couldn't speak. Some were walking with their arms stretched out, and someone's shoulders were dangling around. Dangling means to hang loosely. So it took him a while to understand that what was going on. And the pain from the friction on their wounds was completely unbearable, especially when their burnt skin rubbed against each other. So they were afraid to shave flesh against flesh. Shave means to become sore by rubbing against something again and again. Okay, so you cannot even imagine how painful that could have been. Now, next, those who got shuffled in a blank parade towards the hospital, I saw dismayed. A woman with a child stared in my path, both without clothes. Had they come from the bath? So now, in these lines, the narrator is stunned to see so many people walking without clothes. It was not just only him walking around without clothes. Okay, so he saw them in deep pain, and there was a woman also with a child on their way, and both of them were naked. And he wondered that whether they had come out straight from a bath. Okay, and those who could shuffle in a blank parade. So here, blank parade means people are walking in a shock. Parade means parade. The word parade, it shows that many people were walking towards the hospital and they are completely in shock. Moving on to the next slide. I turned my gaze but was at loss that she should stand thus till I came across a man without clothes, and now the thought arose that some strange thing had stripped us of our clothes. So the narrator ignored them, okay? But he did not understand the situation even till now. Till he saw another naked man. Then he realized that some strange thing had happened because of which people's clothes had got burnt. Moving on to the next slide. The face of an old woman on the ground was marred with suffering, but she made no sound. Silence was common to us all. I heard no cries of anguish or a single word. Now, the narrator here, he saw an old woman lying on the ground whose face was completely disfigured. Marred means damaged. Okay, her face was completely disfigured with suffering, but then she did not complain. Silence was common to us all. So silence here was a common feature of all the suffering men and women. All were in shock and they had become speechless. And they were so much shocked that they were unable to cry. No cries of anguish. Anguish means pain. So they were not able to cry. Not even a single word could come from their mouth. Okay. So finally, this was the explanation of the poem. Second part of the poem. Do let me know if you have any questions regarding this poem in the comment section below. I'll see you all in my next video with the central theme and poetic devices used. Till then, bye bye, take care.